The RGV Entertainment Group, where reality ends and fantasy begins, proudly presents a creative expression dinner theater show, as performed on July 3rd, 2013, at Ringo Civic Pavilion, Brownsville, Texas, our home away from home, featuring members from the following performance group: the Vintage Player, the Timeless Dancer, the Ageless Voices, the Golden Tapper, the South Texas Starette. And now, for your viewing pleasure, here is Salute to America Tour.
Okay, let's pick up where I left. The last line I read to you folks is in 1760 I became one of the founding members of the Masonic Lodge of Boston. The lodge provided an environment where social classes mixed, which was beneficial to my business. A benefit lost in some rural governors. They saw the organization as a principal source of resistance to British authority. Later, my business began to suffer when the British economy entered a recession in the years following the 7 Years' War, and declined further when the Stamp Act of 1765 resulted in a further downturn in the Massachusetts economy. Business was so poor that an attempt was made to attack my property. In late 1765, to help make ends meet, I took up dentistry, a skill set I was taught by a practicing surgeon who lodged at a friend's house. Although I was not one of the Lowell 9 organizers of the earliest protest against the Stamp Act, I was well connected with its members, who were laborers and artisans. I choose not to participate in some of the more raucous protests, such as the attack at the home of Lieutenant Governor Thomas Hutchinson. It was in 1765 a group of militants who would become known as the Son of Liberty formed. I was one of them. In November 1773, the merchant ship Dartmouth arrived in Boston Harbor carrying the first shipment of tea that would be subject to tax, or the Tax Tea Act. I and Warren, I should say, as members of the informal North End Caucus, organized a watch over the Dartmouth to prevent the unloading of the tea. I took my turn on guard duty and was one of the ringleaders in the Boston Tea Party of December 16th. For those not familiar with that action, it was when colonists disguised as Indians dumped tea from the Dartmouth into other ships into the harbor. Once again, according to your fellow citizens, you are now armed with enough more information than before. You should surely know by now who I am. Any guess? Okay, don't tell us anything. We have, so far, we have a good guess. The first guess I had originally was the wrong one, but the gentleman gave me a second guess, which I still kept under my hat until the second another guess just now occurred. So the people, you don't know who it is, you haven't heard it, so don't say anything, please. The one who knows, don't say anything until everybody knows or everybody can guess. Any other guesses? I have another good guess. One there too. Another good guess. So I see some of you, among you, you know your history quite well. A fact which will determine momentarily I will approach each of you, which I've already done to some of you, but some of you will probably ask me or have their hand up in a while, because it will be very obvious to you. Well, I hope so. So I'm going to keep going here until you get ready. It was in December 1774 I wrote to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, upon rumors of an impending landing of British troops. There, the journey to be known later in the history of the Portsmouth alarm. Although the rumors of the landing were false, my rights sparked a rebel success by provoking locals to raid Fort Williams and Mary, defended by just 6 soldiers for its gunpowder supply. The ride that did prove to be some significance was on the night of April 18, 1775. It was between 9 and 10 p.m. Joseph Warren told myself and William Dawes that the King's troop were about to embark in boats from Boston bound for Cambridge, and the road to Lexington and Concord. And we'll leave it here for now, and we're going to go to the next number. Once again, we're going to go to the dock side. Not the dark side, the dock side. We're not in any ocean-going port, but we now visit the mighty Mississippi and take the cruise to New Orleans on the famous riverboat, the Robert E. Lee. Welcome back to South Texas